Hey guys, this is NHSDL06. Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Sword of Seals. Got a little bit of a cold, so I might sound kind of strange, but I'm feeling fine enough to record. I just have a little bit of a sinus issue. That's not a problem. Anyway, go ahead and just give you a quick review of the units that I'm bringing along. Of course, the standards. I decided to only bring 11 out of 12. I don't really need a 12th unit for the most part. I'm going to bring Geese. And I know I originally said Thane because I thought that you needed her for this mission, but you actually don't, so I'm just going to leave her behind. And more importantly than that is my character formation. As you can see, I have Alan and Lance. They're up in the front because they're going to be the ones who are going to be responsible for taking down this wall. I'll get to that in a moment. So I have Alan and Lance, and I'm going to send Saul with them. Saul is important because he's the only magic user that I have, healing-wise, that can equip the physics stave. And these guys right here are going to get hit a lot, and they're going to need to be healed from a distance, and sometimes I won't be able to get close enough, so that's where the physics stave is going to come in handy. Now, sending down this main alleyway are going to be the bulk of my forces. I have Deke, OJ, and Rutger as my swordsmen, who are going to be doing the vast majority of the damage against these guys, because as you can see, there's a lot of axe users. And then, of course, we have Roy, who's just going to be there as always, and I'm going to use Lou, because Lou is a good support unit, as well as Geese to attack from a distance. Clarine will be going with them as the healer. Now, this wall is important because over here there are two mountains, and from these mountains there will be reinforcements of brigands, which are the axe users like Gonzalez. Now, the problem with them is that they'll start coming out around turn 7, and they will immediately go after these villages, as you'll see in a cutscene later. Now, the problem with that is we need to save all the villages, because if you save all the villages, you get a promotion item. I believe it's a Hero's Crest, but I'm not sure. Now, another difficulty that the game poses for you is the fact that not only will there be enemy reinforcements, but there will be enemy reinforcements headed up by a leader that you can recruit. So, on turns 5, and I believe 6 or 8, on turn 5, I know for sure, there will be a sniper that will be surrounded by 4 NPC archers, and you'll need to recruit them using Roy or Clarine. You actually don't need Thane at all in this mission. And then later on, there will be a Pegasus Knight who will bring 4 Pegasus Knights with her, and upon recruiting of that person, you get to keep that character, obviously, and the enemies become NPCs, and they will leave through here. So, if we can do all that, and I think one of the other things that you could do is killing the boss before turn 10 or 15, you get something too. So we're going to try to do all that. This game is a mess, but I'm actually not going to show you too much in this episode. I'm going to probably bring you up until turn 5, which is when the archers come in, because this game can be really unpredictable, and I just kind of want to give myself the opportunity to be the most successful. For the most part, the game behaves a certain way depending upon how well you do, and I'm going to try to make things go as smoothly as possible. So, it's enough of me yammering. Let's do some stuff. And I'm just going to let you guys read this. Here's, her name is, it's spelled Melody, but I'm just going to call her Melody, because I think that's the nicest way. So here's Melody talking to Bishop Oro, who, if you look at his face, it looks like his face is sideways. Like, his face needs to be put more over to the right, and it needs to be bigger. It just doesn't, that just doesn't look right to me. I don't know. That might just be my opinion. Hopefully I'm not scrolling through this too fast. So, we gotta prevent all these people from getting killed. And the girl on the left is our new dancer, Lalum. She does basically the same thing that Ninian did in the last game. She is responsible for doing a magical dance that gives you an extra turn, so take that for what you will. Master Roy. Alright. Let's fight! That's right. Roy's all about it. Alright. So first things first, I'm going to send Alan and Lance over this way, because they are very crucial. It's actually almost imperative that you send them over at some point. Probably better earlier than later, because that'll allow you the opportunity to start attacking that wall that I showed you. Getting rid of this wall, obviously, since it has 100 units, is tough, but it needs to be done. You will literally fail this mission if you... Well, you won't fail the mission, but you won't be able to complete all the objectives if you don't knock down that wall before the 3rd or 4th turn. So as you can see, I am focusing on all of my sword units, because they're the ones who are going to be the most handy at this point. There are a lot of axe users in this mission, so it's only smart for you to bring tons of sword users. Doesn't hurt to have magic users as well. Lou is definitely a good choice here, but yeah, just be smart. This mission is tough, and it can go a bunch of different ways, so you just gotta pace yourself for the most part. Now here is Gale on the right, and Melody on the left. Gale will become more important later. He is a Dragon Knight that was actually supposed to be one of the 3 Dragon Lords of Byrne, although he wasn't born there, but Narshan actually tricked him, and he took over. And they're also talking about General Murdoch. He is somebody that we'll run into later. General Murdoch was actually in Fire Emblem Just. He was in the Nevada Desert level. If you went and saw the house that was in that level after getting Hawkeye, you get to see him, and there's another character that's in this game. It's a secret character. Not secret, but we haven't unlocked them yet. They're in here as well, but I'm getting ahead of myself. You won't see any of those characters for a while, so you don't have to worry about that. Still pretty fun to talk about, though. Alright. Our weapon level has increased. That is handy at all times. Like I said, I'm only going to bring you up until about turn 5. I don't really foresee the necessity to drag it out any longer, because this mission would last forever. I'm going to probably be breaking this down into 3 or 4 parts minimum. I'm going to try to give you a pretty hefty episode, somewhere in the not 3 to 4, in the 15-minute range, because I feel like it's pretty... What am I trying to say? Pretty something. Just pretty. Alright. Ooh, that was a pretty decent level up. OJ getting some defense points. Unfortunately, OJ's not quite as good as Deke. Deke is much stronger, but he's not as fast as OJ, so it's kind of one of those situations where you gotta pick and choose what you want. I gave Rutger the Woe Dao from... What's-her-face? From Fur, because that gives him 40% chance of criticalling, as opposed to the... I think it's 40? And he's gonna cap speed eventually, too. It is... yeah, 40 as opposed to the 30 of the Killing Edge, so... it's more effective, and... it's almost guaranteed that you'll get a critical on every turn, basically, if you use that. So, look forward to the Woe Dao, but unfortunately, it, like many other weapons, has a very small amount of uses, so you'll need to be frugal with how things go. Alright, so thankfully Lance actually killed that guy, which is really nice, because that archer is one of 2 who's going to be incredibly annoying in the coming future, as you'll soon see. There's another archer that I'm going to point out to you. Actually, wait, did he kill him? Well, that was a good level up. Or did he just go over here? I didn't see it. Okay, I guess we did kill him. Now, this is the archer that you need to be careful about. He has a killer bow. His critical is 35%. If you try to use anybody that doesn't have good evasion status, both Alan and Lance do. I'm actually going to be using Lance because he has better defense than Alan does, which is strange, but he does. You will absolutely positively regret it, because he will either critical you or he'll attack you twice and do a really hefty amount of damage. So you just need to be careful with that. One of the most important things in this chapter is just making wise choices quickly, because obviously there's a lot that you need to accomplish by saving all the NPCs, killing the boss, getting all the villages. That was a good level up. And also, it's also... I just said also in the same sentence twice. It's a little bit of an annoyance to have to wait for the enemies to do their thing. But thankfully this lower area isn't really that difficult to deal with. I would say the most difficult part of the lower part of the chapter is that guy. And he can't really do that much. You get him in there with a quick offensive character. Now this is where you gotta be careful. This is why this guy's annoying. But thankfully, that's the best way that you can handle that. Is have somebody quick, and have somebody who can take hits. It's actually turning out much better than I thought it would. Thankfully, Lance is fast enough with his javelin to kill them, and that was also very helpful. So yeah, give your 2 horsemen javelins for sure. That will help you out in the long run. Actually turning out to be quite successful, unlike my other attempts at this. This chapter will cause many of you a lot of frustration, I'm sure. It can be a headache. And just for funsies, let's see if we can't get a critical on our first try. Let's do it. I spoke too soon. Wrecker actually has a pretty good amount of HP for a Myrmidon. That's kind of surprising. Oh, 2 non-criticals? Come on. Losing out on both of the sour ends of 50%. But he does cap speed, which is sweet. Wrecker is my only character to have capped any stat, let alone 2 of them, so props to him for being great. It's almost as if he's a real person, just kidding. Alright. So, Deke and OJ are going to each take care of one of these characters. You'll need to make sure that you get Roy near the bottom right-hand part of the screen, or Clarine. I recommend Roy just because Roy can actually defend himself in the event of crap hitting the fan. So, try to bring Roy as close to this area as you can, because the NPC that you're going to want to recruit, or the enemy that can be recruited, is going to be here-ish. So you'll need to have Roy present in order to snatch him up. Alright, and just use Lou as support damage here. Hopefully this guy doesn't hit him. Alright. It's one of the things that I like about recording Fire Emblem, is that generally when I play I am more cautious, because obviously I want to give you guys the best quality recording as possible. I want to give you some good content. I mean, I am good at these games. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I am. I've played them a lot, so that does help things. But beyond that, I want you guys to get to see the best. So I'm doing everything for you guys. I love you guys so much. We're not going to start that, don't worry. Alright. I did move Lance over there because I feel like his accuracy with the javelin is better than Alan's. I like 78% more than 67%. And I'm going to let Alan begin. See what he can do the most damage with. Steel Sword. And let him begin the onslaught on the wall. And this frees up Saul to come in here with the heal stave. And Lance is now back to full health. And there we go. Things are going quite well. I'm actually surprised how well they're going. This is pretty interesting. Not even that guy can hit him. There we go. Got at least 1 hit on him. That's good enough. And it's good that those axe users are being pulled down. I don't know why I said that twice. They're being pulled down a little bit, which is nice, because that way there'll be less heat on Alan and Lance when I break that wall down. And that's one of the things that can be the most challenging, is just making sure that those 2 don't die. Because once the wall crumbles, you're gonna have a whole lot of enemies coming after you, and that can pose a problem if your horsemen aren't well trained. Like mine. Alright, that's enough of that. Enough of that garbage. I kind of want to get Geese in the action. I say a lot. And here's a little fun trick. When you're going out to, say for instance, a Subway or another sub shop that you like, when you go through the line, try and see if you can avoid saying the word or in between their questions. So for instance, they say, would you like, what type of meat would you like? And when you say it, try to avoid saying or and then when you move on to vegetables and all that stuff. It's actually really tough. I've noticed that. I say and a ton. And so it's actually quite tough for me. I just can't help it. Now, Geese is one of my favorite characters in this game because he's better than Dart from the last game, by far. And on top of that, he's just good in general. And so, you'll see that he can do a ton of damage, and he's also really, 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 really accurate, which is helpful. And because he's so accurate, you won't have to... Well, he's not accurate. Why am I saying accurate? I'm thinking about accuracy. What I meant to say is he has the critical bonus. The critical bonus is helpful because for Berserkers and for Myrmidons, you get the added bonus of not only the... I think it was like 25 to 30% from the last game, you get, I think it's 30% in this game. So that's pretty great. And I apologize for sniffling. That can be kind of annoying. And I'm starting to forget who's had their turns yet or not. Alright. I gotta use Alan and Lance first. Alright. So the focus now is back to the wall. As much as I'd love to continue to fight that guy, the focus definitely has to be on the wall. And I'm actually going to use the javelin just in case that guy does attack me. And I'll put Saul up here for safety. Alright. Yeah, I figured he would do that. And that's where... Oh, nice! That was actually quite lucky and well timed. Okay. This guy's got a longbow. Longbows are helpful, I'd say, for the most part, just because you can attack from 2 squares away as opposed to 1, but they usually don't have very many uses, 20, so they are a little bit on the rarer side. Alright. Rutger is close enough to this guy, he's going to finish him off. He gets a critical with 5%, but not 48%. Alright, so this is turn 5, so this is the last turn that I'm actually going to show. And what I mean by the last turn that I'm going to show, I'm not actually going to finish my turn. So I'll probably leave Merlinus behind, just because it's not really that significant. For those of you who love Merlinus, I apologize if I have offended you in any way. Alright. And you don't have to worry about those axe fighters on the bottom by the wall that I just showed you. Well, I didn't show you it, but you can see it. You don't have to worry about them too much, they're not really much of a problem. And Deke almost gets another level up, that's pretty sweet. Put OJ right there. In case you're wondering why OJ has the ability to attack from a distance, I gave him the Light Brand, which is basically just a sword that has capabilities to use a magic attack. It's the same as using a light spell from the other game. Alright. Going in this house, we'll give you a Dragon Shield. That is 2 defense points added to whatever character you desire. And in this house, you get a Restore Stave, which basically removes sleep, or I don't know if it gets rid of Berserk. It might. Berserk is one of my least favorite things, though. It's quite obnoxious. Actually, no, I'll keep clearing down here. Put her here. Gotta keep her close, because she's crucial to obtaining another character. Alright, the wall's broken down now, so I can move Alan out here. I don't know if he's fast. Actually, I'm gonna give him the Iron Sword. I don't think he's fast enough to attack twice. And I will move Saul over 1. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I can... No, I'm gonna stop here. Just want to make sure that I'm doing things right. And I feel like everything's going pretty smooth, and this episode's been pretty long, so I think that's where we're gonna call it a day. Guys, thanks for watching. I've been HSDL6. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.